Across the Desk
with Clement Manyathela
on 702.
So on our Across the Desk feature this morning, I'm hosting firefighters. I mean, when we think of firefighters, we often imagine blazing flames, right? Sirens and the brave men and women running into danger while the rest of us are running away. But beyond the heroism, there are real human stories. There are long hours. There are risks associated with this work. And of course, the toll on their health and the sacrifice of time with family as well. And I mean, in South Africa, where wildlife, in fact, wildfires, shack fires, and accidents are sort of part of our daily reality, our firefighters actually carry an extraordinary amount of burden to keep communities safe. So we're putting a spotlight this morning on firefighters on our Across the Desk feature. And maybe you are a firefighter yourself. You can tell us what your experience has been doing this work, or maybe your loved one is a firefighter. You can do so by calling us on 011-883-0702. The WhatsApp line is 072-702-1702. We've got Cameron Summers, who is a firefighter, joining us in studio. Cameron, how are you doing?
I'm well, thanks. And how are you, Clement?
I'm good. So what's the position? Is it lieutenant?
Lieutenant.
Okay.
Lieutenant.
So that's like the position. Are they different positions?
Yes, sir, they are.
How do they work?
They are. You'll get your chiefs, divisional chiefs, battalion chiefs, ACFOs, which are assistant chiefs, and then you get your captains. In a captain position, you get different rank structures.
Okay.
So you'll get your adjutant, and then you're still a captain, but you're adjutant, which is an assistant to a chief.
Okay.
And then you'll find myself, which is a lieutenant.
Yeah.
We run the stations. And then we've got senior firemen beneath us, or master firemen in some brigades. And then your firemen, your junior firemen, and your cadets, who are our new guys.
Perfect.
Yes,
we also have Peace Seshuro, who also is a firefighter. Peace, thank you so much for coming through. How are you?
It's a pleasure being here, sir.
Thank you so much, guys, for making time. I always start off with trying to understand like your background and whether or not you've always wanted this job that you do today. Did it fascinate you when you were young? Like, is this something you always wanted to do? At what point did you think this is what I'm getting into?
For myself, it hasn't always been, but I always wanted a job with discipline and uniform. So obviously in the service, serving the community, and my aim was the military. Yes, my aim was the military. And then over the years, I just didn't get there. I became a father, became a husband. And then firefighting was the closest thing. I'm not saying it's a consolation prize. It was the best thing that ever happened to me. So once I got into firefighting, I just hit the ground running.
Sure.
Never stopped.
And for you, Peace, have you always wanted to do this?
I would say yes, I've always wanted to be a firefighter from a young age. It was all about helping someone in dire need. Yes.
That's fascinating. So I always think you've got to be able to you probably have to be so brave, because we are running away.
Yes, sir.
You guys are running towards
fire. Yes, sir.
Like, you have to be brave to do that.
You do.
Because that's risky.
Yeah, it's very risky.
Is that part of the training?
Not necessarily. You generally have it inside of you. Growing up, I was a wild child, naughty.
Yes.
I just didn't know where to put it.
Yeah. This is a perfect place to actually put it.
So once I found it, I was like, okay, I'm harnessing it into firefighting. And and that's when everything just went straight forward. Yeah.
Okay. And for you, Peace, were you scared in the beginning when you started?
I would say my first call hours.
Yeah.
I was, because it was a factory fire. And I thought I wouldn't make it out.
Yeah.
But I think 20 minutes in, I fell in love with it.
Is there like an adrenaline that comes in when you're in that moment?
Always. So sometimes if we're at the station and we're waiting for a fire, it sounds cynical, but we actually do wait because it's our jobs, you know. So when it does come, your adrenaline goes to like 100.
Yeah.
And then you get stood down because it was somebody that saw smoke and it was an exhaust from a vehicle or something, minuscule, and then we get stood down, and then you have this adrenaline and you can't relax anymore.
Like, where do I take this?
Yeah, where do you
How do you guys learn to take the heat? I mean, maybe take us through the uniform that you put on. Because sometimes the fire is so strong that like even several meters away, you just
Yes.
can't take it. Like, what's the uniform you guys have to protect yourselves? And do you have to get used to like heat so that you are able to get as close as you can?
100%. I'll start by saying, Clement, there's a general idea that people have, like a normal civilian will think there's stuff that's fireproof. Nothing is fireproof. Our gear cannot withstand fire. It gives you a certain level of tolerance to the fire, yes, but everything can burn eventually.
Oh my goodness.
Fire is dangerous, it destroys. So with us, we have your bunker gear, which has an outer layer and an inner layer. And there is a segment in between the layers that can contain heat for a certain amount of time, but it's minutes. It's like...
Minutes?
Yeah.
Yes.
So if you start seeing the outer layer burning,
You actually see the smoke oozing from your skin.
and then what? You can take it off quickly?
No.
You have a job to do. It depends where you are. Like if you have people inside, you're going to have to stick with that burns and continue. We burn almost daily. Yeah, almost every day you will get burns on your ears. And your skin heals, but even the sunlight, just the heat from the sunlight, you can feel it on the skin wherever you've burned before.
Sure. So, Peace, are there, like, do you have cases that you have responded to that you thought were, probably was the worst case you've ever attended to?
Yes, I have.
What happened there?
We find victims burned. But I'll mainly say where it's MVAs, car accidents.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so when the car accident, then it explodes.
No, not
Like
car,
the car
when
explodes?
when a victim is in trap,
Oh.
where we have to cut them out. Use the jaws of life, if you may say it.
Sure. That is, yeah. Ooh, how do you take that? Like, do you guys go to therapy?
No, sir. I'm a praying man, God-fearing
Okay,
man.
that is,
so
is
that's
a bit
my
of that. That's therapy.
And then we gym. We gym a lot just to decompose, de-stress, I think. If you can
How
put
do
it
you
as
deal
such.
with that?
That's what I do. I gym a lot.
Yeah.
I go to church.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how I deal
That
with
is
it.
therapy. So, do you have a worst case you've ever attended to?
Yes, I have. That case will always be with me. There's been multiple, but this one is significant because it was close to where I live in the south of Johannesburg, Glenanda. There was a gun shop fire. I got there on scene first. As I was approaching the scene, I could hear gunshots, bah, bah, like thousands of gunshots, and people running, people ducking on the outside of the shop, but all the bullets on the inside are now live because they got heat. So they're flying around, and we had to go and recover 5 people from there.
So, oh my goodness. And then normally when people like because I always like seeing informal settlements, especially because like when there's a fire there, it is so devastating because the shacks are so close to each other.
100%.
And sometimes you hear community members, like when I was a reporter, I used to run and they will say, there are kids in that house. So like in cases like that, is that when the fire spreads like quicker and where you see more devastation from your experience?
Yes.
Of the cases you've responded to?
Most certainly, because in the informal settlements, most of the time it will be electricity because of the wires that are not put in certain places or not covered as they should be, and there's usually kids in the unit, so the spread is quick, rapid, and if our firefighters are not there in time, unfortunately, we're going to have loss of life. And most of the time it's kids because they do not know what to do in that instance.
Do people die from, well, not even maybe die, but when there's a fire and there's a lot of smoke,
Yes, sir.
do you like get unconscious from just inhaling the smoke?
Smoke inhalation, yes.
Smoke inhalation.
100%. Most of the time that's the cause of death.
Oh my goodness.
This is a personal one that I had. My sister-in-law, my wife's sister, youngest sister, passed away 2-3 years ago in a fire, and she passed away from smoke inhalation. Yeah.
Sure. Okay. There are some questions coming through, some people sharing their experiences as well. I'm going to ask you guys to put on your headphones, and then we're going to take some calls on 011-883-0702. The WhatsApp line is 072-702-1702.
Hi, good morning, Clement, and to your guests, and good morning, 702 listeners. I just wanted to find out, what are the minimum requirements for a young person who's just matriculated to become a fireman? What would that entail? And maybe talk a little bit about the induction and the course. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for that, yeah?
Okay, so firstly, you'll have to attend a college, a fire college, where you'll need to obtain your firefighter 1 and 2, hazmat operations, hazmat awareness, and your first aid level 3.
Yes.
That's your basic standard to get into the fire department.
How long does it take you to do that?
It
4
depends.
months.
It depends. It takes merely 6 months.
Yeah.
Or some it might take 4 months.
Yeah. So you're fairly new, right?
Yes,
When
I
did
am.
you start?
I started last year.
Okay, last year. And how would you say the experience has been since you started? Especially given the cases you've attended to. Like when you're new, do they take you to like light cases first, or sometimes they just throw you in the deep?
I was thrown in the deep. I would say I'm enjoying it.
Yeah.
I really love it every day. Whenever there's a call, whenever we run out of the station, I feel like I'm a baby. Yes, about to get candy. That's how I feel. I enjoy it every moment.
How do you deal with like the times? Like, do you work night shift? Do you work? And most of the time, when do you respond to cases? Is it at night? Is it in the mornings? Is it midnight? Early hours?
You can't really say, like, it's the same
Across
as
the
the
board.
question, which season has more fires? It doesn't work that way. Like, a fire breaks out unintentionally most of the time. It's a mistake. It's an accident. Load shedding. The electricity came back and something was on and it shorted and the house caught alight. So most of the time it's random.
Okay, what are some of the causes from what you've seen, Cameron, some of the causes for fire starting in the homes? Because I used to think that, okay, during winter, a lot of us put on our heaters, we forget to switch them off, maybe. Stove when you're, I don't know, or some people when they're cooking, they forgot to switch that off. But normally, what would you say are the causes of the fire starting in homes,
Clement,
especially at night?
you're most certainly right there as well. That's one of the cases. But recently we had an uptake in lithium batteries burning within structures, whether it be in their garage, because now all of us have solar panels. Those catch a light. And unfortunately, it's on the roof. So the house is immediately involved.
So what precautions can we take then?
The precautions is correct installation, and then that's the installation part. I just know from the fire part, we have processes in place that help us fight those type of fires, because it's not your ordinary fire. Yeah.
Okay, here's another, what's a voice note that's come through?
Hi, Clement, and good morning to the listeners of 702 Land and your guests in the studio. So I've always had this question, and hopefully today the firefighters will be able to answer this for me. So it's not every day, right, where you have a fire, right? To be honest, I can count the number of buildings I've seen on fire, or the number of times I've read in the news that there is a fire. So what then do firefighters do when there are no fires? So take a typical example, someone who has a 9-to-5 job, so they'll clock in the morning, they'll attend meetings, emails, etc., etc. So with firefighters, how does it work? Do excuse my ignorance, but it's something I've always wondered. Thank you.
Okay. It does differ from rank to rank. Obviously, for myself, I've got a bit more responsibility, so I'll have meetings to attend, and then I'll have training to give to my firemen.
So you normally dispatch firemen to like these places?
No, that comes from above. So that comes from your battalion chief or your captain.
And then what do you do?
What we do is, I'm the one that puts my crews on a certain vehicle, because I know their strengths, I know their weaknesses, I know who to put where. And then we need to do training daily. Like, we're supposed to at least do more than 2 trainings a day.
Same training?
No, different. We have scenarios that we'll put in place and we'll do the training therefore.
Okay, because sometimes you have to, if you're saving people, you have to carry them.
Yes.
Oh,
Look,
okay.
I'm not saying that there's not time to rest. You do get time to rest. But most of the time, just our luck, when you decide to rest, is when the fire actually comes. So, yeah.
Okay. You spoke about strengths and weaknesses. I'm interested in that. Like, how do you determine that? Like, what strengths are necessary in this job, and what are some of the weaknesses then you pick up as someone who has to dispatch the team?
Okay. Strengths would be physical. You need to be physically strong. And like most of us
you have to do gym.
Yes, sir. But most of us are lean, but we're strong. Like our cores are strong. Earlier, the gentleman asked, what do you need to get into the department? You need to have your core strength, because you're going to run before you can. In the college, you run daily. You swim daily. So, you need to be strong. And then obviously your mental capacity. You need to find a way. You need an outlet. You cannot just, yes, we have the discipline of being a firefighter or fireman, and those disciplines you carry throughout your life. So even if you're at home, you're still a fireman, you still think as such, or you're disciplined as such. Yeah. But you need to decompress.
Okay. Here's another one.
Madimecha, good morning. Lovely show as always. Madimecha, not only are these gentlemen trained to stop fire, I think they also do some medical courses, and I'll tell you why. We have a friend that last week he rescued somebody who was almost dying in his car. So this guy came to the gym, sat in his car, and we thought he just sat in his car, but he had sugar, diabetes or something along those lines. And this firefighter guy that we gym with told us that something was wrong with that guy. He went in and he realized that no, it has to do with sugar, diabetes. And I don't know what he did, but we managed to open the window. He managed to open the window, and we took the guy to the hospital. So that is how useful they are. It's not about extinguishing fire only. Thank you. Lovely show. Peter Boxberg.
You trained in that too?
100%, yes. As I said earlier, notice he said the fireman was the only one that noticed something was out of place. So you are off duty, you're at the gym, but your awareness is on a different level. You see things that not a normal person would see, because you're always exposed to it. But yes, the medical side, you do need to have a certain level of medical experience or qualification.
Yeah, Peace, someone is asking that, hey Clement, Peace mentioned that firefighters sometimes use the jaws of life when they're cutting people out of cars. I thought that firefighters only respond to like fire situations.
No, we also respond to accidents, jaws of life, which we call it extrication tools, but as the public...
Extrication tools?
Yes, extrication tools.
What does that look like?
It's basically...
Is it a huge machine?
No, it's actually pieces of machinery. You have your shears, you have your spreaders, you have your combi tool, and your rotary saws.
Are those people alive, or unconscious when you are doing that, using those machines?
Sometimes they are, sometimes they're not. But
more demanding when they are, because now you have minutes or seconds to get them out so that they can get medical assistance, because in the vehicle we can't help them that much.
So you still do that on them while they're alive?
Yeah.
I'm getting goosebumps.
Yeah.
Yeah, and of course that's gonna save their life, because then maybe, what happens if this car explodes, or they're more in a risk situation? Oh my goodness. Okay, another WhatsApp, Abel?
Hello, 702. How are you? Hope you're fine. I've got a question to our guests. I just want to know, who goes to the scene first between the firefighter and the ambulance? Because I see them almost being on the scene, going to the scene all at the same time. Who calls who? Or who is supposed to be there at the first time? Thank you.
Yeah?
Okay, Clement, I'll answer that strictly with our department, with our brigade FireOps. We have a company that's affiliated with us, MediResponse. So the minute we are dispatched, or they are depending on the scenario, they will then dispatch us. But who comes first there? It's probably the firefighters. We are hungry. We want to get there. We want to know what's happening, especially if we know that what are the circumstances on scene. Most of the time, people will say there's entrapments or somebody trapped inside, and then that's not the case. It's a little fire, but they were scared and thought that the department would take too long to come out. So then they heighten the information given to us.
Oh, so that there can be a quick response.
Yes, sir. But nonetheless, no matter how small the response is, if we are needed somewhere, we're going to rush. It's actually a competition for us.
Yeah, but what are you allowed to do and what are you not allowed to do? Like, for instance, maybe there are things that paramedics probably know more than you.
Sir.
Like, in what circumstances do you say, this is not our forte, we have to wait then for these guys to come?
For us as FireOps, most of the time we are only able to stabilize the victim. Keep them calm, get them in a comfortable position, keep them talking. And obviously if there's open wounds, we'll try and keep it closed in whichever way possible, but we wait for our medical team to get there first.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's 10:30. Let's get the latest in Eyewitness News headlines. We'll come back with more of your calls and your WhatsApp voice notes as well. We're hosting firefighters on our Across the Desk feature this morning. What questions do you have for them? And if you're in the industry yourself, what's been your experience? Maybe your loved one is a firefighter. We're putting a spotlight on this profession this morning.
Across the Desk
with Clement Manyathela
on 702.
25 minutes before 11 o'clock on our Across the Desk feature this morning, I'm hosting firefighters. We've got Cameron Summers and Peace Seshuro. You can give us a call on 011-883-0702. The WhatsApp line is 072-702-1702. Jimmy in Germiston, let's start with you. Good morning. Hi, Jimmy.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
I'm all right, man. I understand you're a firefighter yourself.
Yes, I am.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I just need to clarify the issue of what a firefighter is doing, or just to add on what the guest already mentioned, because we get that question quite a lot. Firefighters are not only responding to fires or building fires. We're responding to other emergencies like your drownings. Maybe you have seen mostly that just pay where people will drown and then will go and do water rescue, even though in most cases it will be body recoveries. But we do respond to those incidents. We respond to chemical spillage, hazmat incidents, not only fires. So sometimes we might be on the highway where there's spillage for 12 hours, not necessarily that we'll only respond when there are fires. And we also do topography. We need to familiarize ourselves with the area that we are responsible for. You need to know what companies, what do they have, their housekeeping. So you do that when there's no call, and we call that operational preparedness, so that whenever there are emergencies in those areas, you know where to find a hydrant that is working, what maybe that company is dealing with, so that when you respond, you dispatch rightful resources. And we also rescue people. Sometimes we find people trapped on high-rise buildings. There might be no fires, maybe something that led them to the top of the roof where we need to get them down. So there are a whole lot of training in and incidents that we respond to.
Oh, that's amazing. What do you guys not do? Like, you could respond to any level of emergency.
100%.
But geez, that's incredible. What happens, Peace, have you been in instances where there's no hydrant working?
Yes, I have.
And what happens? What do you do? And
in our case, we have a tanker, a water tanker. So
do you always, your trucks, all of them have obviously tankers?
Yes, they do have tank like the engine, but we have a special one, the water tanker, which has more capacity of water than the engine that we drive in.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So they can supply the engine with water. So we do have enough sufficient water for the scene that we are currently working at.
Okay. Yes. But is it important for areas to actually have functioning hydrants.
Yes.
Because I do remember there was a point where there were reports of some certain places that don't have fire hydrants, and they could be dealing with risks of fire.
Yeah, it's an unfortunate situation. Even in the CBD, Johannesburg CBD, we have those situations where it's a building, there's no water within the building, and there's no water around in the area. There's no, like you said, hydrants. But we have small vehicles, which are UHP, ultra-high pressured vehicles. They have water. We have our engines with water, and then we have our tankers with water. So we always have water.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you ever deal with issues of safety? Like, are there areas, because even ambulances now, paramedics are scared to go into certain areas because they start robbing them. Do you guys get concerned about safety?
Yes, we do. A lot, especially sometimes in the townships, because they get to try and steal our equipment.
Can you imagine stealing equipment of people who are there to assist us?
It's sad, and it does hinder our performance as well, because now we need to take somebody who's fully qualified to assist us in the job of fireman and leave him stationed at the vehicle to make sure nothing is taken.
Oh, my goodness.
It's sad, because we are there to assist in any way we can, but now we need to also then protect our own equipment.
Okay. What would you say is the most, to both of you, what's the most challenging thing about this job, and what do you think is the most fulfilling thing? Like, what makes you love this job, and what do you think is the most challenging thing?
Oh, the most challenging thing. I would say
What's the most amazing thing then about the job?
okay, the most
Because maybe
amazing-
you don't have challenging things about the job.
The most amazing thing is going out to a call and helping someone that you don't know. And for a person to say thank you after that, for me, that's the most fulfilling thing. Yes.
Yeah. For you, Cameron?
For myself, the most fulfilling thing is, obviously, we don't expect to get to a scene. Your house is burning, and I don't expect to see a smile on your face. You're under distress. So the most fulfilling thing is knowing that I'm able to do something and go over and above what I'm there to do, just to make sure that the person's okay. And putting your life before another, it's very fulfilling. Like I said earlier, I grew up quite tough, very naughty. So now just giving back daily, that's what keeps me going.
Okay.
And then the most difficult thing is the splitting your work from your family life.
How demanding is this in terms
Very,
of time?
very demanding. Like, thank God I have a wonderful, supporting, loving and caring wife who understands. She's my strength. She actually assisted me in finding a way to get home and still be a dad, even though I just saw 10 bodies, or helped save somebody's life. So it is traumatizing in a sense, but then you're the only one that's there to assist. So you do it.
How many hours do you guys work? Is it your standard 8 hours or?
So it's standard hours, but then we volunteer another 12. So because of the voluntary, we work 24 hours on shift, 24 hours off shift.
Okay.
Yeah. So that just speaks to how committed our guys are. We give more than what we're supposed to.
Do you sometimes get to be on call, like with the doctors where over a weekend you are off, but you are on call?
100%.
Should there be emergency and you are called?
Especially the higher up ranks, you 24/7 on call.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Norman, you're calling us from Johannesburg. Good morning.
Good morning.
Sure.
I'd like to find out how often do they check to see if the fire hydrant has got enough water, because there's a lot of people that's using it for washing cars and taking water from the fire hydrants.
Really? People use that for?
Yeah. People actually vandalize. So there's something in a hydrant that people take. The knobs they sell.
The knob and the seal.
They brass and then the seals. So I'm not sure why they do that. Or they just stuff them with junk. So before we manage to check if there's water, we need to open up and take out
clean
all
it
the
out.
junk, and so it's tough.
Okay.
But we check daily. That's 100%, and we do pinpoint which ones do not work, and it's reported to our senior management, and they deal with it from there.
Okay.
Hi, Clement. You are in the presence of real-life superheroes. Firefighters are the most determined people in rescue that I've ever worked with. I work in an SPCA, and there are times where we need their assistance. So you are in the presence of real-life superheroes, and kudos to you guys, and thank you for your service. Ralph in Boksburg.
Hi, Clement and everybody there at 702. Man, to the two gentlemen, all I would like to say from my side is thank you so much for the great work. It's not a lot of people that actually get to say thank you. You know, I've never been in a case like that before where maybe I'm stuck in a fire or there's some sort of emergency going on, but I always see them because I stay just close to a fire station in Cosmo City. I always see the gentlemen. So thank you guys so much for your great work. It's not, you know, the real heroes are not usually appreciated or celebrated. So thank you so much.
Morning, Clement. I've got a funny question to ask your firefighters. I see on the TV, like in movies, when there's a call and firefighters have to attend to a scene, they jump and they have to slide down a pole. They'll be sitting somewhere upstairs. Is that real or it's just Hollywood stuff? And if it's real, what is the reason behind them sliding down a pole? Why can't they be on the ground floor so that it's easy for them to access their gear? Walter from Cape Town.
Thank you for that. Is it just in the movies or is it real?
Unfortunately, it's not in the movies only. It does happen. It's real. Most predominantly in our city department. In the city of Johannesburg or Tshwane, for that matter, they have poles. And I'm not sure why, but I think it's for us to get quicker to our vehicles and to your bunker gear. And why we can't be on the lower level is because you'll usually have your food area there, your training area, your equipment's down there. So it's going to be a lot of stuffiness.
Okay.
So your quarters will be upstairs most of the time.
All right. Robert Mulaudzi, also calling us from Johannesburg. Good morning.
Good morning, Clement, and morning to the colleagues out there and 702 listeners.
Sure. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to appreciate you, what you have done, the platform which you are giving us, as firefighters, because we don't really have that opportunity to given to us to talk about what we do. Most of the times, communities are up in arms about us. Maybe it's either we are late or the vehicles didn't have water and things like that. So I really appreciate that you are able to actually talk about some of the, difficulties which you come across as firefighters, the environment which you work in, and of course some of the capabilities abilities which someone is supposed to have to be in the fire service. But I actually wanted to highlight the issue of other responsibilities or specialization in the fire service. You've got like what my colleague Jimmy spoke about, that there's other specialization which one can take. Like for instance, you can specialize in aquatic rescue unit where you respond to water-related emergencies. You can also do urban search and rescue where you're attending to like building collapse. I mean, most of our rescue technicians in South Africa have been invited to other areas like Algeria, the Philippines, where they were assisting when there's like earthquakes and other emergencies in those areas.
Yeah.
And then now the fire service also now it's investing mostly on community empowerment because the communities need to understand what is it that they can do before my colleagues who are in the studio will respond to those emergencies. What do you do? So the very same firefighters who are sitting there in the studio, they will have an opportunity to go out to communities to educate the communities about, the dangers of, maybe leaving, heaters unattended and things like that. What is it that they can do to call emergency services? And of course, if there are buildings in an area where it's a business people, they are supposed to comply with maybe municipal service bylaws and all that. So there's a whole lot of careers in the fire service which, young people who are listening to us can be able to tap in, because we also need young people who are more energized, who've got energy, And fire service, most importantly, it's a career where you have to go to school. You can even have a PhD in fire service. So it's not like something where it's a general work where everybody can just do. It's a specialized career where you have to be trained and know what you are doing. It's not something where you can just get somebody. So people are able to go out to school. Like, for instance, in South Africa, TUT, the University of in Tshwane, it's most of the and other colleges or institutions are actually, making sure that fire is professionalized. We go out there and learn more so that we are able to render our service internationally. Because most of the guys or firefighters who are operating in South Africa now, they are capable to working anywhere in the world.
Amazing. Yeah, Robert, thank you so much for calling. Robert Mulawitz is actually the spokesperson for the city of Johannesburg Emergency. We've spoken to him many times when there are these accidents and disasters that happen. Thank you so much for your call. It's 11 minutes before 11 o'clock. More of your calls and WhatsApps when we return.
Across the Desk
with Clement Manyathela
on 702.
9 minutes before 11 o'clock. Let's continue with your calls and your WhatsApps as well. And in fact, let me start with the question from earlier on from someone who wanted to know, because you've also you're still new here, what would be your advice to a young South African out there who might want to follow in your footsteps and also wants to be a firefighter? What advice would you give them?
I would say they would have to be brave at first and willing to go all the way beyond to save someone else's life or someone else's property, because it takes courage to enter a burning structure of a person that you don't know and try to stop the fire or save a person who's entrapped.
Be brave and be willing to go all the way. Selma in Roodepoort, hi.
Oh, hello, Clement.
Hi, Selma.
I just want to know, do they still have civil defense organizations that are attached to these fire brigades? Because years ago, in the 70s, shows you how old I am, I'm now 70 as well, I was an adrenaline junkie. And I belonged to the civil defense at Randburg Fire Brigade. I trained my first day through Red Cross right up to gold medal, and then at the Randburg Fire Brigade we had a specific fire instructions. We went for classes, and then we had to write an exam to pass, and we had to do actual training, like climbing up the training tower and things like that, and learning how to use the hoses and roll them out, and give your fire on signal and all that sort of stuff, and how you had to insert what side of voice. They used to say female faces fire, but anyway, never mind. So what is important is, and we also did radio operators substation course that we also had to write an exam on, so that we could actually, when we go out on the ambulances, are allowed to transmit our calls on the the shortwave radio, whatever you want to call it, that they transmit on. And also the rescue courses that we had to climb up and down with full kit and your your firefighting gear and your tunic, the whole thing, and your jump kit, and you had to climb up. In the olden days, there was a Duro sandwich there that eventually became the lake of clear of Brightwater Commons, anyway.
Yeah.
So that was great fun, and it taught me a hell of a lot. And eventually, in my ordinary work that I normally do, I was also a first aider for our division. And eventually I also got trained as a safety and health rep, where you learn about spotting all sorts of things that are not safe around you in your business or in your building or whatever.
Okay, so civil defense training then, is that still a thing? Is that offered, civil defense training? Firefighters?
I think a lot has changed since then, but I speak under correction.
Yeah.
In the government, it could still be. But like, I just think I need to highlight the fact that people who are interested in the career or in anything that you have an interest in, most places will not chase you away. They have an open door policy. If you are really interested, make effort, make the means to go there. Like if you rock up at a fire station, we sometimes have ride-alongs. In that day, somebody might have never wanted to be a fireman, but just riding along in that day and
experiencing
then
that,
be, you know?
Yeah.
So that is very important. Like we have situations where we go to schools and different places to educate people more, especially our youngsters who are in school.
Absolutely.
Hi, Clement. This is the Clement. Can you kindly ask your guests there that in a situation whereby in an informal settlement, because most of the time, more especially during winter period, that's when they experience shacks catching fire due to candles or whatever they might be having and heaters and that. Now, because of the informal settlement, the shacks are so close to each other and the roads are so narrow. How do they handle that whereby they have to go through the shacks and, to put out the fire? This is the from Kokatehone. Thank you.
Thank you. How do you guys deal with that?
We get as close as we can to the seat of the fire or the shacks that are involved, if I can call it as such. And most of the time we have our colleagues from the municipality there, and we work hand in hand, and we have enough hoses, we have enough equipment to get to the seat of the fire. And unfortunately, because it's a shack, once a fire has been active for a period of time, most of them have already fallen down. So there is access points to the seat of the fire.
Cat B on the WhatsApp line says, Clement, thanks to the firefighters for their bravery and selflessness. Lindy says, Clement, what an intriguing topic. About 8 years ago, I thatched home took fire at our thatched home took fire at the end of our street. After eventually putting it out, our daughter wanted to meet the firefighters. Tired as they were, they put her in the engine and they took pictures with her. Please, can you ask them there, how many women do they actually have in the force?
Okay, in FireOps, we do not have female firefighters as yet. I do think senior management is working around that. I'm not sure why, but because we're a private brigade, I think we started with the strengths. Not saying females are not strength, but we started with the males just to get like a foundation.
Yeah.
And as we grow, I really do hope that soon we'll have females. But I do know in different municipalities there are female firefighters.
Yeah. Well, Cameron Summers and Peace Seshuro, thank you so much for coming through.
Thank you for
this
having
was
us.
so insightful.
It was an honor.
So insightful, and we really appreciate the work that you do, running towards the fire when we are running away.
Yes, sir.
In fact, towards emergencies, because you do more than just firefighting. Thank you so much, guys, for coming
for having
through.
us, sir.
It's 2 minutes before 11.